Yo, what is up, beautiful people? MarkieMaurk back in the kitchen again. Thank you all for joining me this afternoon. I posted on my Facebook a little bit about what I'm doing, and I've had a lot of people ask me how to make a good barbecue sauce, so I'm going to drop that info today on this video. So today we're going to be making a Western North Carolina style barbecue sauce. It's absolutely delicious, and I'm actually cracking the code on my favorite WNC style barbecue sauce. So it's kind of a mix match of stuff in my brain and what I can figure out about what's in that jar. So it's going to be cool. We're going to kind of crack the code on it. I can't tell you who makes that sauce because that wouldn't be right. But anyway, there are all different kinds of barbecue sauces across the country. There's actually a lot more than I thought. Florida's got one, Baltimore, Maryland's got one, and shout out to all the places, but I can't go over everyone, but I am going to go over a few with you. So there's the Eastern North Carolina barbecue sauce, which is super thin, and it's pretty much just composed of apple cider vinegar, red pepper flakes, and salt. Literally. It's super thin, real vinegary, and it's pretty much vinegar heat and a little bit of salt, and you can obviously imagine how thin it is since it's composed of almost nothing but vinegar, but that's because it's a perfect base, because the Eastern North Carolinians focus on like whole hog barbecue and stuff, so they're just mopping that hog down with this nice thin base that'll suck right into it. So anyway, that's the Eastern NC. What we're making today is more of my little MarkieMaurk style twist on a Western NC barbecue sauce, which is similar to an Eastern. It's still vinegar forward kick, but they do add ketchup and brown sugar to tame down the vinegar kick a little bit. And then I'm also going to be adding a little lemon juice for a nice little bite, and pretty much that's pretty much the same besides my seasonings, which I'll go through all that with y'all in just a moment. Next up, we have the Texas style. Texas style is mainly focused on basting brisket, because Texas is all about the beef. So it is more of a, it's still got vinegar in it, but then it's also smoky cumin, chili powder, hot sauce, and then a main component of it is the drippings from the meat, which is pretty rad. They just redistribute it back on there, and that's what makes that awesome Texas style brisket basting barbecue sauce. They also add Worcestershire. That is another secret in the Texas style barbecue. Hey, so another one is the old Kansas City style, which is your thick, sweet, dark barbecue sauce, kind of compared to Sweet Baby Ray's maybe. Ketchup main ingredient, a little bit of vinegar, a lot of brown sugar, and a lot of molasses, which gives it that dark, sweetness. St. Louis style is the next one on the list. And it's a mix of Kansas City, which is that sweet, molassesy, ketchupy, brown sugary sweetness. And then it's a mixture of that, and it's a blend between that and Texas. So it's the real savory style. Texas don't mess around. They don't even use vinegar at all. They use beef drippings, and then a lot of nice spices like the smoked paprika, the chili powder, hot sauce, and Worcestershire. So St. Louis is kind of a blend of those two, the sweet and then the real savory. And there is a million others. South Carolina is pretty comparable to North Carolina, except no ketchup, instead mustard. So South Carolina is a mustardy, vinegary style, and then and there's still so many more. I cannot cover them all, but I wanted to go down a little list of some awesome styles with you. So anyway, like I said, guys, today we are making the Western North Carolina style, and what's going into this bad concoction is 6.5 pounds of whole peeled tomatoes. And what I'm doing with these, I drained about half the sauce out of the can. I left the other half in there because that's going to add some nice liquid to it. And then I'm going to take this immersion blender, and if y'all don't have one of these, you need to get one. It is literally a blender on a stick that you smash down in there. I'll even give you a little demo. And you get to mixing on your tomatoes. And you literally just stir and it blends your tomatoes up oh so nicely. So anyway, but past the tomatoes, so there's, like I said, 6.5 pounds of tomatoes going into this, and I'll leave all the links in the description at the bottom of the video. But this recipe is gonna make about a gallon of sauce, and I'm gonna jar some, and like I said, whoever subscribes and comments on my video and says they subscribed, I'm gonna pick 1 out of 10. For every 10, one of y'all is getting a jar of this amazing barbecue sent to you. When I pick you, I will also contact you and ask you, I'll reply to your comment and ask you for your address. You can shoot it to my email address, and I will send you some awesome Western North Carolina style barbecue sauce. Anyway guys, so beyond that, 6.5 pounds of the whole peeled tomatoes in about half the juice. Now I have the other half here. If I need it to thin, I will. Anyway, then 4 pounds of tomato ketchup, apple cider vinegar, white vinegar, because you can't say they taste the same and they don't, and they do something special when you put them together in here. And like I said, don't get too worried about the ingredients because they're all going to be in the description at the bottom of the video. And then, besides those vinegars, a little bit of brown sugar. I'd say a 1/4 cup. Now I am making a large quantity here, and I may have to kind of figure it out as I go. So like I said, that's why I'll get it all figured and then let y'all know in the description. But anywho, the only other things going into this besides what y'all saw right there, tomatoes, ketchup, the 2 types of vinegars, a little bit of lemon juice for a little bite, and the brown sugar, is I will do a nice little squirt of honey, and then garlic powder, black pepper, and red pepper flakes. That's it. So all that's going in here. What we're gonna do, I'm gonna finish blending up these tomatoes. I'm gonna get them on the stove to cook down for a little bit, brown a little bit, get a little flavor town action going on, and I will see y'all in a minute with some further details. Stay tuned because it's gonna get good up in here. Got the tomatoes all blended up with the immersion blender. It worked absolutely great. These things are awesome. I highly recommend them. If you're making any kind of soups, I'm going to be doing a butternut squash crab soup video before too long. I'll be using that thing again in there. Anyway, we got the 6.5 pounds of tomatoes blended up. I'm doing 4 pounds of ketchup, which you can see I already dumped. I'm going to start with a 1/4 cup of brown sugar, and I may add more. We'll see. Probably will add more. But we're going to start with that because we don't want it too sugary. This is Western North Carolina style. It ain't no Memphis or St. Louis. So I'm going to keep it vinegary. So now I'm going to add the white vinegar. And I'm going to guesstimate on this, but I would say for this amount, probably close to a cup of white vinegar and close to a cup of apple cider vinegar. So anyway, here we go with the white, y'all. We got 32 full ounces, so 16 there, 8 there. You know how MarkieMaurk rolls, he don't like to measure nothing. Alright. So pretty much cup of white, cup of apple cider. I'm going to do a shot of lemon. Probably I'd say a good 4 tablespoons of black pepper because of the amount I'm making. Now when I write these ingredients at the bottom of the link, if y'all are trying to go like half that size, you'll just have to do a little math, but it won't be too bad, promise. And just fill it out, or make as much as I did and can it up and save it because it's going to be darn good. And if you're one of those folks who subscribes and tells me you did, you might get picked and you might then get sent a jar so you can see how good it is before you decide to make this much of it. But anyway, I'm going to drop this lemon juice. I'd say 1/4 cup lemon juice, 4 tablespoons of black pepper to start with. I may adjust that a little bit. probably dang near this whole thing garlic powder, because we love garlic and we hate vampires. And I'd say another good 2 tablespoons of red pepper flake, not to get it too spicy too quick, but it is a large amount of sauce we're making here, guys. So anyway, I'm gonna get this stuff all mixed up and on the stove, cooking down a bit, and I will see y'all soon. All right, y'all, so we're back. We got the whole pot of the Q sauce on the stove, and you can see that foam collecting. Other than that, I got a nice burgundy color. That foam I'm actually gonna scoop out. I don't really think you have to. You could mix it back in, but I feel like that's the acidity, tomatoey flavor that we don't want in the Q sauce. So I'm gonna pull it out. I'm gonna let this simmer away for about 20 minutes, and I will get back at y'all. One thing I did realize is I had to add a whole lot more lemon juice. So, because so far for this recipe here, I got 4 cups of apple cider vinegar, 1 cup of white vinegar, and 1 cup of lemon juice. So anyway, I will get back to you in just a moment once I call this good and start throwing it into the jars. Yo guys, so we are all finished up here with the barbecue sauce. I brought it to boiling and let it simmer probably about 30 minutes on the stove once it was all together. And as you can see right here, I got a beautiful mess of all these little jars. These are what I'm sending out. So everyone who subscribes and comments that they subscribed, for every 10, I'm gonna pick one lucky person. They're gonna get a jar of MarkieMaurk's barbecue sauce. Anyway, this stuff came out absolutely awesome. I used a lot more lemon juice than I originally thought I would, but 2 cups to be exact. But anyway, it came out perfect. It's got a nice kick of spice, and I will make sure to have all the ingredients in the description at the bottom of the video so y'all can make this at home. And when you do make it at home, if you follow this exact recipe, you're gonna come out with 12 little 8-ounce jars, or 6 big 8-ounce jars, and then another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then about another. So really, it'll make about 12 8-ounce jars, I believe. If not, somewhere close to it. I'm not gonna, don't quote me on that. But anyway, this barbecue sauce is absolutely awesome, Western North Carolina style. I want to thank you all for joining me again in the kitchen this evening, and any newcomers, welcome, welcome. And until next time, guys, stay safe, stay healthy. This is MarkieMaurk coming at you from the kitchen. I will catch y'all on the flip side. Later.